William wants to be in the video. Come up here, William. Good boy. We just got back from 3 weeks in France and Spain, and the excuse was going to the Biarritz Bass Camp, which was the middle week. So this is not the first time my wife Courtney has been on the channel. She is a harpist, and if you want to see her learn how to play bass, check out what we've got linked up here. And this is also not the first time I've dragged you, although quote unquote dragged you to a bass festival. I think the first one we did, or the one that really lingers, is Lucca in Italy, 2018, I think. And then you came with me in 2023, again to Italy for another project in Lucca and also the UK. But this is probably the longest bass festival you've been at. And I thought we bass players get really used to just congregating as bass players, or at least the people in my circle, but not everybody has that experience. So maybe you've had the experience now of being someone who's been around all these bass players, and just what are your impressions of bass festivals? What was the experience like for you?
Well, I have to say, first of all, it has been really nice to have an excuse to accompany you on, I feel like a lot of these vacations, a lot of these things that we do, I definitely wouldn't feel justified in just coming up with, oh, let's just randomly go on a vacation to, France and Spain. I wish I could be one of those spontaneous people, but it's really nice to have a reason to do that. So something to kind of build a trip around. So it's been really nice to have that. And I have to say too, I mean, maybe I'm biased because I fell in love with a bass player, but I think bass players are wonderful, kind, and mellow people. I think that they're a very nice contrast to harp players who tend to be a little bit more, I don't know, maybe type A, or I don't know, maybe I'm just describing myself, but I definitely enjoy hanging out with bass players a lot. And man, it's really cool to come along and just be an observer in these bass festivals. I have to say, I was really impressed with this particular one in Biarritz, how there were a range of ages, everybody from elderly on down to super, super young, single-digit ages. And I have to say, I really wish I had gotten involved in doing music camps, music festivals related to my instrument at such a young age, like back in childhood. I don't think I really did music festivals or camps of any kind until college, when I started doing Aspen and just those music festivals you do when you're a music major. So I really would encourage people to, if you're still a kid, it's a really cool thing to do, to be around other people that play your instrument and who might be at your level, or who might really inspire you because they're more advanced than you. And it's just cool to see other people's approaches. This was extra cool because there were people from all over the world. I think almost every continent was represented, and including I don't know how you dealt with this, but there were some people who you don't share a common language with at all, other than the language of music. And so yeah, it was very, very eye-opening to be in that environment.
I'm going to hop in here and tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Upton Bass, and I brought Upton Bass rosin. I brought their Maple Plus to France, and this stuff performed like a champ. It was Fahrenheit, almost 100 degrees, no air conditioning, and I was a little worried about finding a rosin that would work. So it was I used a little less than I do normally in San Francisco, but this stuff worked great, and it was so cool. I got to France and I pulled this out of the case, and somebody from Portugal said, "Oh, is that Upton Bass rosin I've heard so much about?" And I said, "Yes, it is." And we geeked out on it. Really great stuff. Their Maple Maple Plus has been really great for me, but I also like their maple. It's a little bit of a darker formula, and their honey rosin, which is this finishing rosin, complements the other two rosins I use like once every few days. I love the tone. I love the grip. It works when it's super hot out. It works when it's not so hot out. Check out this rosin and everything else Upton has going on, and thank you for sponsoring the video. The diversity of people and repertoire and ages and backgrounds was super interesting, all while sweating buckets, drinking more water than I think I ever have while teaching bass.
Yes, it was really hot and humid where this was in Biarritz. It's a beach town, a big surfing town, really beautiful. I know you didn't have as much time as I did to actually get to enjoy the beach too much, but yeah, the temperatures were pretty high. But yeah, it was cool. It really seemed to me like, again, I'm an outsider, right? I'm not a bass player, but I am a former professional musician, just different instrument, right? But it was really cool to see how it seemed like people, you know, from these different parts of the world had kind of slightly different approaches to playing the bass and to musicality and to whatever else. And so I think it's got to be cool as you're honing your craft to, you know, we can hear about these things, you can watch a YouTube video, whatever, but it's different when you're, you know, 24 hours a day with these people. You're performing together. You know, there were like bass ensembles. There were also, every single night there was a recital, and it was either a faculty member playing a recital. It was bass ensembles, and or it was just each individual participant getting up and playing whatever solo they were working on. And it would literally be like, it'd be like a 12-year-old would be playing, you know, the etude that they were working on. And then somebody would get up and play like a mind-boggling, you know, rendition of like the Bottazzini concerto. And then another 12-year-old would get up and play whatever they were working on. And it was really cool to see this sort of smattering and the mixture of approaches and levels, and just the common ground was the bass, but it was all a very supportive environment too. It was what I got the sense.
Taught bass all day, and my experience of this camp was being in this room one-on-one with people, but they were rehearsing bass ensembles, they had jazz, they had Celtic music. It was just a really lovely experience for me, and you got this experience too, to sit, and especially with the adults. We got to know this wonderful Norwegian couple and other folks from different parts of the world, and get a just chat over so much bread that we ate there. And,
oh my God, so many carbs.
Yeah, and just learn about their lives and what they were doing. And then it was a really cool and inspiring experience, but so different from the ones that I participated in a little more regularly here in the States that you've probably seen on this channel.
Yeah, I think one other neat thing about this festival was it was in Biarritz, in this cute beach town, but it was somewhat away from the coast, and in this sort of siloed area. So everybody, you're just like there all day. Everyone eats together. In addition to all of the ensembles, and there was like a warm-up class, right, and lessons and whatever. So it was just very like full immersion. It actually inspired me. You know, I go through phases. When I was a professional musician, you know, as part of your job, kind of you have to practice intensely every day. It's part of the job, right? It's kind of staying in shape. But now that I'm in a different field and just playing for fun and for pleasure, I definitely go through phases where I'm more into, you know, wanting to practice and stuff versus not really, you know, my harp collects dust a little bit more sometimes depending on the phase. But I found even though I don't play the bass, just being immersed in all of this music and talking about music and thinking about music, it really inspired me, and I could not wait to get back to San Francisco and dust off the old harp. So yeah, it was definitely inspiring for me, even as a non-bass player.
Yeah, and if it's inspired for her as a non-bass player, for me, I can't wait. Today, after we stop this recording, I'm going to, for the first time in like what feels like 2 months, actually practice the bass. And this is also the only time in my life I've been on like full-on holiday mode, vacation mode, like we're at the Wine Museum in Bordeaux, we're chilling out, and then to go and like hardcore 8 hours a day of bass teaching plus like 1.5 to 3 hours of bass recitals and just the bass geekdom for like 6 days, really 7 days, and then off to Barcelona for more vacation. It was very, very interesting. All of a sudden I was like aching in every part of my body related to bass playing. So many Kusevitsky concertos that we were playing along with, and yeah, just really cool experience. And I'm so glad you came along and were a part of it. And folks this is kind of the end of the summer season, these week-long bass events that there are many of throughout the world. We've got an events locator page on our website, which will be linked up to here. But there are many events throughout the year. They're like 1 day, 2 days, maybe even a couple more days all over the world. So definitely check out that page we've got linked up. And I can't wait to drag you to the next bass event. If it's the bass convention in Ann Arbor, Michigan, you say enjoy Michigan. But if it's in France or Italy, we bill on a vacation, and it's a lot of fun. It was fun having you along.
Definitely. I would definitely say if you're an adult, you know, attending one of these types of things, definitely try to drag along your significant other / spouse. It is actually really fun, even if you're not the one enrolled in the camp.
All right. Well, it's good to be back, and good to be back with William, and we'll see you in the next one.
My name is Karen. I am 11 years old, and I play the double bass.